Okay, so for part 4 of problem 4, we want to find the equation of the line that passes through the points 1/3, 1/2, and -3/2, 2. So since I used point slope form for part 3 of problem 4, I'm going to try to use slope intercept form for this one. So using equation 1. You can also use point slope form. You'll get the same answer. So if I want something in slope intercept form, I want something of the form y equals mx plus b. So I need a slope and I need the y-intercept. So remember that slope is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I'll go ahead and label these points. So we'll do x1, y1, and x2, y2. So then I can just plug in the numbers. Y2 is 2. Y1 is 1/3, 1/2. Oh boy. X2 is -3/2. And x1 is 1/3. Okay, so off to the side, I'm going to do some arithmetic with the fractions. I suggest that you do the same thing if you're watching this. So we'll do 2 minus 1/2 first. So I need a common denominator. 2 is the same thing as 4/2. So 2 minus 1/2 is 4/2 minus 1/2, which is 3/2. And then we'll do -3/2 minus 1/3. And again, I need a common denominator. So maybe I'll use 6. So I'll multiply -3/2 by 3/3. And I'll multiply 1/3 by 2/2. And remember from class, this is just a fancy way of multiplying by 1. So -3 times 3 is -9 over 3 times 2, which is 6, minus 2 times 1, which is 2, over 2 times 3, which is 6. So -9 minus 2 is -11 over 6. Okay, and so now my slope is 3/2 divided by -11 over 6. This is the same thing as multiplication by the reciprocal of the bottom. So this is 3/2 times 6 over -11. 3 times 6 is 18. 2 times -11 is -22. Okay, so we've got the slope. So far we have y equals -18 over 22x plus b. And now I need to find the y-intercept, which is b. And it might also be helpful for you to simplify this. So if I divide the top and bottom by 2, 18 divided by 2 is 9, and 22 divided by 2 is -11. -22 divided by 2 is -11. So this is the same as -9 over 11. And I'll replace that here. So to find the y-intercept, I just need to plug in one of my points. So I'll use the first one. I get 1/2 equals -9/11 times 1/3 plus b, and then I'll solve for b. So -9 times 1 is -9. 11 times 3 is 33. To solve for b, I'll add 9/33 to both sides. If you want, you can simplify this. So if I put that into the calculator, this is 17/22. So our final answer, the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points in y-intercept or slope-intercept form is going to be y equals -9/11 x plus 17/22. Okay, so if you need more time to look at this, you should pause the video now. But I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so the next one wants the equation of the line with undefined slope that passes through the point -1, 14. So remember that undefined slope means we had a division by 0. In y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You can also think of this if I draw like a coordinate plane. Something with undefined slope is just going to be a vertical line. And you can check that if I take 2 points on this vertical line, I do indeed get a division by 0 when I try to find the slope. So if I label my axes here, it looks like if I have undefined slope, the x coordinate isn't changing. So if I label my point x, y here, x is what's going to stay the same, and y can be anything. So the equation for this guy is going to be x equals -1. So in reality, it will not look like the graph that I just drew. Instead, it'll look something like this, where right here is x equals -1. Okay, moving on to the next one. I want the equation of a line with slope 0 passing through the point 1, 2. So again, I'm going to draw our axes. And remember that slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I have slope 0, that means that the top of this slope equation had to be 0. So in particular, this means that y2 minus y1 is 0. So y2 and y1 are the same. So a line with slope 0 should look something like, it should be a horizontal line, like that. So the y value doesn't change, but the x value can be anything. So for slope 0, I'm just going to take the y coordinate of my point that I'm given, and the equation of this line will be y equals 2. And finally, I want the equation of a vertical line passing through 1/5, 27/5. So again, I'm going to draw my coordinate plane just for fun. And we know that a vertical line is going to look something like that. So just looking at the graph, we can see that the x value stays the same, but the y value can be anything. So the equation of this line is going to be x equals the x value of the point that we're given, which looks like is 1/5.